And our next speaker will be Dr. Aditi Singh. And yeah, please take it away, Aditi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Jared, John, and Pradyumna for the detailed information about what Nanda Registry is all about, what facts are all about. So, I'm kind of going to give you a perspective of how through like our team survey, what we've gone across, how A2A, MCP, and Nanda Quilt is going to work like an ecosystem, not like a siloed architecture. So, just a little information about me. I'm Aditi Singh, professor at Cleveland State University. I'm doing a bit of AI research around my team has published few papers around survey of agent interoperability and agentic RAG. And feel free to connect me on LinkedIn. Next slide, please. So, the survey right now is towards like comparing MCP, A2A, and Nanda registry. So, what we're going to look at is how the metadata structures like agent card, agent facts are different, and then across four dimensions like security, authentication, scalability, and maintenance, how these would look like. So we start with the MCP registry, and I know could be a little repetitive, but just to get on boarded of how we are doing the comparison, it will be great to see what each of these component or what each of these has to offer. So MCP is a centralized meta registry for discovering and managing MCP servers. Publishers often use CLI tool to publish version mcp.json files that gets verified via GitHub auth and optional DNS text TXT challenge for reverse DNS namespace. There is REST API support for unauthenticated reads and authenticated write, storing raw JSON in object storage and indexing metadata in MongoDB. And it also supports like async jobs and webhook. MCP clients often poll the registries or mirror, cache the metadata locally, and serve users without relying on live call to central registry. Next slide, please. So the next is towards like decentralized discovery, which agent to agent or A to A has to offer. So it is trying to address like a key challenge, like how do the AI agents interact with each other, which are built across like different companies running on different systems, and how do these agents talk to each other? So A to A is here to provide a shared way of how agents would describe who they are, what they can do by using a simple JSON file called agent.json. And this file is often placed in a well-known path on the agent server. So it makes it easy for other agents to find and read what this file has to offer using a standard web request. Next slide, please. So if we look at the Nanda Quilt registry system, it is trying to offer like a universal decentralized platform for discovering not just AI agents, but kind of service including like tools, data resource, human expert, AI or IoT devices, Web3 agents. So anyone can register and expose services through its lightweight agent router logic. It's kind of like DNS, but for agent world, which enables flexibility, scalable discovery, and we'll see towards the end of the session today how Nanda Chat can access these registry to connect users with right agents or services. So it's kind of a system that is trying to break silos and trying to build foundation for truly open internet of agent. So it's another way of saying that we are trying to create a step towards future like a switchboard without having a central authority but trying to make things future ready. Next slide, please. So if you look at like different uh, comparison level, it's kind of what I've said earlier, like how these are. Actually, we can go to the next slide because this is kind of the same thing which I've repeated. Now, if you look at this particular diagram, this is kind of a compelling visual trying to say that how the evolution would is taking forward towards that internet of agent. You can see that over here MCP, A2A, and NANDA Quilt of Registry with agent router is trying to coexist together. Where Adam agent, where bakery agent, these are basically interacting with the tools like calendar through MCP. Bakery agent is interacting with its tool like inventory and customer analytics using MCP. And then if these two agents have to interact with each other, you're using A2A protocol. So there are still like smaller pieces like HTTP connecting Atom with Atom agent, Moon Bakery with Bakery agent. So it is a very good, like compelling image, just trying to show that switchboard, that everything is existing together and trying to support that real world autonomy. A step closer to how the next set of agents would look like. Now, next slide, please. So, this is kind of, I would say, like, if you look at like these three blocks, I believe it's how like different phases of discovery evolution is happening. It starts right from that A2A discovery, which is trying to say that the agents are publishing that simple JSON file on their domain so that it's easy to implement, but it does lack some dynamic feature or verifiability. The second phase is pretty much the MCP, where MCP is trying to introduce RESTful APIs and searchable registries so clients can basically query a central service in order to find and retrieve agent metadata in real time. Now, if you look at phase three, which is an attempt made by Nanda trying to say that how about discovering through public metadata paths as well as trying to protect like the private metadata information by adding like cryptographic signatures, identified IDs, time to live caching, and revocation, trying to make sure that an attempt for the decentralization along with having a privacy aware for these agents. So in short, it kind of provides an overview how from static files to APIs and to verifiable registries, each of these are evolving one step at a time. Now, uh, next slide, please. So this is like just a difference between the agent card, which is part of like Google's A2A protocol, and agent fact, which is part of Nanda Quilt of registries. So these are not all the specs, but just a snapshot of what these are supporting. So if you look at the common features like basic agent discovery, standard authentication, HTTP protocol, flexible authentication, these are basically provided by both of these. Things what are exclusive to Nanda is like having those agent facts metadata, like the private message routing, rotating geo endpoints with time to live, dynamic adapter routing, real-time stream notifications. So these are few things which are exclusive. Next slide, please. This is another kind of a comparison between the agent card and agent facts. Again, you can see that for agent card, identifiers are such as things like URL, which is basically describing basic fields like name, version. There is that one uh, fetch from that dot well-known URL. And then for Nanda, it's trying to use identifier like unique IDs supporting details like telemetry, performance, evaluation, and privacy aware fetch paths with like two hop where uh, you go from registry to facts. And pretty much if I have to like say that how these two are different, they are I cannot say these are pretty much like separate uh, in terms of what information they have to carry, but I can say that agent um, agent facts from Nanda can be viewed as like a superset of agent card. So it is trying to embed all the information which is present in agent card, but along with that, it is trying to add more like skills, more like cryptographic attention, more adding to that privacy path and the time to live based routing without altering any um, runtime logic. Um, and next slide, please. So right over here, just trying to like just a final kind of a comparison on the security, uh, scalability and maintenance side of MCP, A2A, and Nanda. Pretty much, if I have to say about security, we can say that MCP is using GitHub or DNSTXT records to verify the ownership and publish the metadata. So it is lightweight, relies on existing web infrastructure, but it is not offering cryptographic guarantees, which is good because if you just need for just the developer point of view, just for a development in a siloed system, you don't need all that. Whereas A2A ensures secure communication over HTTPS, but it does not sign its message or payload, meaning there is no built-in identity or verifiability. Again, good for if you have like agent to agent interaction. Nanda, on the other hand, is trying to provide that ecosystem through trusted credential with dual path metadata and access added privacy. Um, on scalability side, again, because MCP is for that host system, uh, there is scaling with NoSQL backend like MongoDB. A2A is stateless and simple. It uses polling, pushes notification, which is good again. Nanda, on the other hand, is trying to maintain that bridge between that ecosystem by using that time to live page caching, adaptive routing, namespace sharing. And then if I have to conclude with the maintenance, I would say MCP is again driven by CLI and REST API, so it requires no hosted packages and it is easy for developers to operate. A2A is trying to integrate well with that existing monitoring tracing tools, though with uh, more limited fidelity. Now, Nanda on the maintenance side is a plan towards connecting that trillion of agents where it would require that connectivity. It would require what MCP has to offer, what A2A has to offer. So with that, I would like to like summarize this and say that MCP is focusing on the ease of use and existing developers workflow. So A2A on the other hand is providing lightweight quick to adapt protocol for agent communication, and Nanda is trying to build that decentralized trusted ecosystem with strong identity and scalability support. Together these protocols are technically complementing each other. They're trying to fit different needs, they're trying to fit different level of complexity, and collectively I would say they are representing a real step forward towards that building foundation for more open, interoperable, and secure internet of agents where diverse system could exist and people can interact across silos. So thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Aditi, for that great presentation. I think you highlighted very well all the amazing work that exists already out there in the space and how Nanda is trying to bring all of this together and build almost like a superset of all of these to ensure interoperability.